If it's a quality of life issue, then I take it on. I take it on and I vertically prosecute it, which means I take it directly from the investigating officer and I take it all the way through court up to trial if need be. And the advantage of that is that I get to work not only with the community and hear what community concerns are, but to work with police officers if there's an investigation that needs to be done in a certain area. What I did want to talk about was illegal dumping. The city attorneys are now taking on a more active role in illegal dumping. We've set up illegal dumping task force. So we have a 24/7 hotline right now where you can actually report illegal dumping, and I'm going to provide that number, 1-800-974-9794. And basically what they do is if there's an ongoing dumping situation where you're actually seeing someone dump, I would suggest you call LAPD as well as this number. And, oh sure, sorry, 1-800-974-9794. And that is staffed 24/7. And if it's just dumping that you see on the street, I would encourage you to dial 311 and it will be picked up by sanitation the next day that they pick up trash. So there's that, and then there's also, we're trying to put together an immigration forum here in the Hollenbeck division. The city attorneys are also taking an active role in going after notarios. In 2014, President Obama issued an executive order where he stayed deportation to those immigrants who are here in the United States who have children that are either U.S. citizens or residents of the United States. And because of that, there's been a lot of fraud going on with notarios. So notarios in Latin America is a lawyer. Here in the United States, a notario is not necessarily a lawyer. So what they do is they give out themselves as being lawyers. They take people's money and they tell them that they will apply for them, and the application isn't even out yet. So it's a lot of fraud. We're encouraging people to come forward. I have some flyers here that I will leave in the back, and we're trying to put together a forum to educate the community about this. We're working with the LA County Consumer Affairs Department, and we also have a consumer protection unit in the city attorney's office that is aggressively going after these notarios. Also, medical marijuana. I know it's a hot topic. If you have concerns about a particular dispensary, I would encourage you to email me. If there's nuisance activity around the dispensary, email me. I work closely with the narcotics unit at LAPD and with our medical marijuana attorney at the city attorney's office. So I think that's it for me. So they have my contact information, and I'll leave some business cards in the back. I also have some flyers that I'll leave in the back. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Austin Fernald. I am not your senior lead, but your senior lead, Steve Morales, retired last Saturday. So I'm kind of pulling dual duty here. I actually have the Lincoln Heights, Montecito Heights, and Herman area, so I'm stretched a little thin. But I want to try and answer. I believe one of the board members came up with, asked a question about some of the homeless and the issues, because all of our, the jurisdiction Hollenbeck's under, we're dealing with this issue. I happen to have the Royal Seco Wash. Many of you may have viewed that on the 110 freeway. And the city attorney, along with the officers assigned to work on this detail with Parks and Rec, worked to try and clean that up. This last storm, the people actually had moved just down into the Royal itself. And then that became Department of Army Corps of Engineers, their property. And there's always this issue about whose property is it. And the city attorney, unfortunately, we kind of have to go to her for her expertise to help us out. And so the people were down in the wash. Well, the rain comes, and they're concerned for their safety, so they move back up onto the arroyo itself. So we are trying to address that, but it's not a simple process. We have to offer them alternate housing, and then they have to want to take it. And this is sometimes a lengthy discussion or issue, because some of them we found out, like two young ladies in particular, they have 5 dogs. None of these shelters are going to take these 5 dogs. There's other issues. Some of them want to smoke on site. You have to smoke off site. So I will cut it quick. I say a lot of time, but I apologize. I don't have your new senior lead's officer's name. When that senior lead is chosen, you will get to meet that senior lead, and I'll let him introduce himself and what he can do for you. Okay, Madam President?
Did you guys actually had 5 minutes each, so did you have anything else to say? I mean,
Yeah, I kind of felt I didn't...
anything you feel like you need to address that you left out?
Okay, so I apologize. I did want to talk about, because this is always a hot topic, we did have an officer-involved shooting last night that hasn't made the air, I don't believe. About 11 o'clock last night, we had we had officers looking for a white van that was used in several assaults. Officers in our gang unit thought they spotted the van last night around 11 o'clock. They go to pull the van over around the area of Soto and Boulder, I think it is, and immediately turns into a pursuit. Very short one, but they get into the residential community, and one of the guys jumps out of the car and has a gun. The officers get involved in the shooting, hit the individual in the hip, he goes down. The van takes off. There's 2 more individuals in it. Another short chase, an accident, and the other 2 are taken into custody. There were 2 guns also recovered in this van. We believe it's related to the assaults in the Boyle Heights, and I realize that's a different jurisdiction, but it is kind of important. Anytime there's a officer-involved shooting, we like to try and address these issues. The 3 individuals that were taken into custody were from a very aggressive gang called CAM. For those of you anybody familiar with CAM, by show of hands? Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar with it, it's one of our most aggressive gangs. They're also part of the injunction, and so you know, CAM stands for Crazy Ass Mexicans, and that's the term they call themselves. So they're in custody. The individual was not a life-threatening individual or injury. Officers are okay. 2 guns in custody. And we follow forward from there. But this is 11 o'clock at night, last night, so I don't have anything else to offer at this point. But I'm going to give you a heads up, should you see it on the news, how this all came about. I think with that, I know I could probably speak all day long, but I need to cut it short. Madam President, anything else? Actually, the city attorney wanted to say something.
Okay, she has about 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
To 1 minute.
Just really quick, if there's bulky items, Department of Sanitation is supposed to pick them up. If it's not a homeless encampment, there's no process for picking up bulky items. So if you guys have a location where there's a bulky item, Department of Sanitation does not pick it up, please contact me and we'll try to figure it out together. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. And I'd like to state for the record and ask Luisana to please mark Angela Duarte and Augie Rodriguez as present and arriving at 6:45 p.m. Thank you. And moving on to any government reports. I don't believe we have any representatives here. Oh, I'm sorry, we do. We don't have anybody from U.S. Senate office, right? So I'm gonna start with who I know is here in the order that they're listed. California State Assembly person for the 51st District, we have Sarah Rascon, who is the field representative for Mr. Jimmy Gomez.
Was there anybody from Kevin De Leon's office? No, before.
You want to speak here or here?
Wherever you're comfortable.
Okay.
Kind of a new format. I don't want to turn my back on everyone. So as mentioned, my name is Sarah Rascon. I'm with the Office of Assemblymember Jimmy Gomez. For those of you who don't know me, I'm from El Sereno, grew up in the neighborhood, and I've been your field representative for a little over 2 years now. I haven't been present in a few months, but I am the corresponding field representative from the State Assembly office. That means we can assist, I in particular, with any state issues, agencies. Most popular ones are EDD, DMV, and right now Franchise Tax Board is really popular with taxes. So you can always call our office. If you don't have our number, you can find it online. It's a 213 number, or I will leave some cards in the back as well. And that's what we do on the state side. In addition, we also pass legislation that affects all of the state of California, but the assembly member always tries to introduce and pass legislation that represents our communities. So in addition to El Sereno, he represents Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Cypress Park, Silver Lake, Chinatown, Mount Washington, Lincoln Heights, and unincorporated East LA, just to name a few. So I'm your representative for El Sereno and 4 other neighborhoods. So I'm stretched really thin right now as well. I'll be going to another one pretty soon. But that being said, I did want to tell you guys about some legislation he introduced for this year. That bill deadline has passed last Friday. So some of the bills he introduced, one is AB 1431, and this is in regards to affordable housing. So this would hopefully increase accessibility to affordable housing, which we know is an issue in the district. I can always get you details on these bills and a fact sheet that explains them in simpler context. AB 1251 is in regards to the revitalization of the LA River. The LA River, 10 of the 51 miles that the Army Corps of Engineers has designated as a core area of study and revitalization is in our district. So that's Elysian Valley, Cypress Park, and so forth. So we're really excited about that and hope we can revitalize it. The assembly member has even kayaked the river, so yes, that is a possibility. It is an area for recreation. Another bill is AB 888, and this would provide tax exemptions for energy efficient home appliances. Another significant bill I wanted to address is AB 581, and this would help us reinvest and repair state facilities. And lastly, AB 1560, which would prevent discrimination against undocumented children. And this is just to name a few. We actually have a total of 21 bills he introduced and hopefully gets passed. Last year we were 23 for 23. All 23 of the bills he introduced were signed by the governor and will be implemented this upcoming year. So they were introduced in 2014 and will be implemented in 2015. So that being said, I'll be short now. A few significant things we've helped with as of lately is securing the Elephant Hill space and transferring that ownership to the MRCA, Mountains Recreation Conservation Authority. That is actually a state agency. It was created through a joint powers authority, so a lot of people don't know that, and the state actually plays a huge role in these events. Also, York Park was just opened in Highland Park, and that was a $4 million project. $3.8 million came from the state. So it's often overlooked. But we do help with all these wonderful events and open spaces in the district. And lastly, I wanted to tell you guys about 2 events our office is assisting and hosting. One is a first-time homebuyer workshop. That's going to be in our neighboring community of East LA at the East LA Service Center on Sunol. And I will leave some flyers in the back. They look like this. And they're in English and in Spanish. Supervisor Solis's office is also here and helping us with the event, so thank you guys. And it's a free event. It's March 19th, 6 to 8 p.m. We'll have credit counselors there, bankers, Cal FHA, how to keep your home, and how to get on the track to buying a home. So we know majority of the district are renters, and we want more people to be able to own their homes. So it is a possibility. It is possible to own a home, and we hope you can come out to this awesome free event. The assembly member will be there as well. And in addition, we are also helping host the 20th Annual LA Community Job Fair. That's going to be at Dodger Stadium this year, March 28th. Last year we had over 100 employers that provided over 1,700 job opportunities. So if you want a job, there are opportunities. There are plenty of resources and information on the flyer. I will leave that in the back as well. So we hope you can come out to the homebuyer workshop and job fair. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Rascon. And if by chance you have both of those flyers electronic, can you send them to Capricia?
Do you have a card or email?
Yes, you can reply back.
She's the one who emailed you to invite you tonight.
Okay. You emailed me though, or should I?
Sorry.
You deleted her?
Here. Okay, here goes my card.
Thank you. And next we have Mr. Fernando Villa, the field deputy from the Los Angeles County Supervisor for the 1st District.
Hello, everyone. So I'm with Supervisor Solis. We came on board December 1st, so we're relatively new. So one of our strategies right now is to do outreach to all the neighborhood councils in Northeast LA. So I think you are the 5th or 6th one I visited. So I'm slowly making the rounds. What we're trying to do also is introduce ourselves to the various nonprofits in your area. So if you know any nonprofits, any community leaders or civic organizations, to contact us so we can have that dialogue. It's very important that we create those lines of communication between our office and Northeast LA. Also, if you know any people that we should honor in terms of scrolls or certificates or any adjournments that we should be doing, we're more happy to do that for you. And also, I left some county guides. So these are all the services that the county has, which I'm learning myself. One of the questions I've been discovering is what exactly does the county do in terms of the city level? So hopefully this will answer some of your questions regarding this. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm hoping to come to each neighborhood council at least once a quarter. That's my goal. Unless there's something on the agenda that I need to attend to. So if there's any questions, just...
Great, thank you so much. Are you leaving the books?
Yeah, those are all yours.
Oh, okay, great. So the community members can take a book, and Capricia will need one as well, right? I don't know. I mean, as long as one of us, if she could bring it. I mean, if there's leftovers, but I'd like the stakeholders to be able to take them if they want them.